Monkey Pokemon. Each and every generation has had at least one of these stylish simians. And yet we have 8 whole types that have yet to be given to our primate pals. So in today's video, let's fill those types with Pokemon that will have you saying, monkey. Hey everyone, Brandon here, and monkey Pokemon are definitely some of the most popular in the franchise. Actually, some of those Pokemon are apes, not monkeys. All monkeys are primates, but not all primates are monkeys, and the fact that while they wear themselves out, why don't we go ahead and talk about the first type in this video, Bug. And I really think you should be nicer to Inteleon. It's actually a really unlike other mammals I've done across these of every type videos, the Bug type actually fits onto a monkey Pokemon quite naturally, because of the existence of one species of monkey, the spider monkey. So just make that idea literal, and you get something like Munkid and Arachnape from Oppo Fakemon's Metas region, a normal and normal bug type. Munkid, like your average child, and Satoshi Tajiri, have a special interest in bugs that live in the trees it inhabits, and will try to befriend them. It becomes influenced by these bug types and evolves into Arachnape when you have 2 or more bug types in your party. Now armed with 2 extra limbs, a stinger-like tail, and a nasty string shot, Arachnape swings fearlessly and effortlessly through its wooded home. It has a new ability called Buzz Off that gives priority to bug-type moves if this Pokemon's HP is full. A very fun pun and effect. On the topic of buzzing, let's move on to the electric type, which honestly shocks me that we haven't seen one yet. And before you say we already do with Electabuzz and Electivire, those are both based on Oni, and Electivire is like a Yeti, which is ape-like at best. I am talking full-on monkeys in this video here. Now don't you start again. An electric type monkey could be so fun though. We could see a potential 4th elemental monkey, which would match very well with the existing types, or we could see some brand new Pokemon like Voltape and Macrash that I worked with Trainer Mats on as some Pokemon we could see in Paldea. These 2 are based on the Barbary macaque, the only native population of primates in Europe that live on the bottom tip of the Iberian Peninsula. I don't know if I ever talked about what kind of abilities or moves these 2 could have, so I think Voltape would probably have something like Vital Spirit, which could maybe progress into Iron Fist for Macrash. This design just looks like it was made to punch something, which makes sense given it was partly inspired by the punch-crazy beast, the Rajang from Monster Hunter. Maybe it could even learn Plasma Fist, or just Thunder Punch would suffice. But these next 2 monkeys don't even have to worry about taking that Thunder Punch, even though they're flying type. And regular viewers of the channel should know what I'm about to introduce. Of course, it is Hanger and Wrestlanger from the Devar region, which I worked with JJ-Mons to create. They have Lightning Rod as a signature ability based on Hanuman's invulnerability to lightning. To learn even more about these aerial apes, check out this video here, after finishing this one of course. And if you're enjoying the video, I would greatly appreciate you hitting the like button, subscribing, and leaving a comment. It really does help. Now let's move on to some monkeys I had made just for this video. So next we have both the rock and the ground type, which is actually a special case that I'm quite happy with. As I've expressed in the past, the distinction between rock and ground types is such a confusing thing to deal with. So for this video, I decided to play into that with these next 2. Sexual dimorphism has been present in Pokemon since Gen 1, and was later expanded upon in Gen 4. It has come along with so many different ways of presenting itself: gender-exclusive evolutions, stats, colorations, abilities, etc. But you know what we have yet to see happen? Gender-exclusive types. Sexual dimorphism is also very present among primates, and one pretty radical example is that of the Mandrill, with the male Mandrill exhibiting a much larger size and fangs, and a bright blue and red coloration on their face and their well, I was gonna say backside, but yeah, sure, booty. So with this in mind, I came up with Sandrill, the variation Pokemon, that I also worked with JJ-Mons on. The males are ground type and the females are rock type. They exhibit behavior similar to Mandrills, but not entirely like it, so please don't come for me if it isn't 100% accurate. I see you down there. Yep, go on back. That's it. Sandrill have a very unique system in how they operate. Female Sandrill will form clans of exclusively females, only letting males in during the mating season. They typically make homes near rock formations that have tree cover, building rock statues in their likeness atop the rock formation to trick predators that are mostly bird Pokemon, so they can pelt them with rocks from their mane to scare them off. The adult males spend most of their time out in the desert and arid plains, battling with other males to establish which of them get to go to the females during the mating season. They hone themselves through battle, sanding themselves down and chiseling out a rougher, tougher Sandrill. When thinking of this Pokemon, the males having the blue part be glass for a ground type felt like such a natural fit to me, and really inspired this whole concept. Their fur has special adhesive properties that allows the sand to collect on it, which they use to hurl at opponents, much the same as the females use their mane. These 2 give Rock Throw and Sand Attack a whole new meaning. Speaking of, if we've gone as far as differing their types, we can do so with their abilities and move pool as well. So males would get Sandveil and females would get Rockhead, though I think there could be a new ability for the females that works like a built-in Rocky helmet, considering that is literally what they have. Both could share the hidden ability Sand Force, which would really benefit both their types. Another type that benefits from that ability is Steel. For this type, I've decided to do something a bit different as well. So here we have Grabon, the linking Pokemon, a pure Steel type, that I worked with Kai Fakemon Asar to create. Grabon's design is fairly simple, with little gloves, a fur tuft that looks like a gear, and an infinity symbol as a mask. Well, that simplistic design and infinity mask aren't for nothing, because this Pokemon's ability is schooling. So when a bunch of Grabon get together, you get their school, or should I say, barrel form. This is of course a reference to the classic toy Barrel of Monkeys. These little monkey toys you can hook together in a long chain, and whoever drops the chain loses. The monkey that Grabon is inspired by is the Gibbon, these very long-armed monkeys that look just like the monkeys from the game. Grabon obviously takes part of its name from the Gibbon and Grab for the other part, but when put together it sounds like Grab On. Where the Steel type comes into play is that these toys were inspired by chain links for snow tires. The creator was fiddling with them and thought they would make a great toy. The way these Pokemon wrap around each other also refers to chain link fences, and their shiny references the red coloration of the toy itself. Grabon have a fierce sense of loyalty to their species. When they connect, it is like their minds become one as they form a nearly unstoppable defensive bunker. Because, as we all well know, apes together strong. And this next Pokemon would get absolutely wrecked by a Grabon, as it is the Fairy type. So here we have Seamadonna, the boisterous Pokemon, a Fairy Dark type. This ear-piercing Pokemon is based on the equally loud Howler monkey found across much of South America. Their cries can be heard for miles, and as such, what better to mix it with than the vocal talents of an opera singer? This is where it receives part of its name, prima donna, the chief female singer of an opera, but also has become a term to mean a very temperamental person with an inflated view of their own talent or importance. This is where some of its dark typing comes into play. The other part and part of its design reflect the Howler monkey gods from Mayan myth, Hunbots and Hunchoan. According to the Popol Vuh, a text recounting the myths of the Mayan Kaiche people, these two brothers were trickster musician gods that clashed with their half-brothers, the Maya hero twins, who tricked them into becoming monkeys. So Seamadonna is a bit of a trickster as well, using their voice to trick others as to its position before sneaking up on them and scaring them with a very loud note up close, which can momentarily deafen them. Its abilities could either be a new ability called Sinister Voice, which would work like Liquid Voice but turns all sound-based moves into dark, or just Pixelate, which would make all the sound-based moves it learns stab. Either way, dragon types definitely start quaking at the sound of a Seamadonna nearby. Speaking of, let's move on to the dragon type. For this type, my mind instantly went to one of the few mythical creatures I knew was part monkey, thanks to watching Boruto, the Nue. This Japanese mythological hybrid of monkey, raccoon dog, tiger, and snake is such a perfect fit for the dragon type. But I wanted to do more than just make a Nue Pokemon. That's when I looked into what kind of monkey the Nue takes from, the Japanese macaque. You know, the one famous for resting in the steamy hot springs. So with this in mind, I worked with Zemetrielmons to create Heizaru, the mist Pokemon, a water dragon type. Rather than making the Nue elements like the snake tail and tiger stripes more literal, we use steam to illustrate them. Heizaru would definitely learn moves like Mist, Haze, Scald, or even Steam Eruption. I could also picture it having abilities like Steam Engine or Thermal Exchange given its inspiration's affinity for hot springs, though there isn't much of a point seeing as it is quad resistant to the fire type. I imagine it to be like the final evolution of a Pseudoline or some kind of sub-legendary Pokemon, if we were to ever return to Japan for another Pokemon region. Heizaru's name comes from Haze and Nihon Zaru, which is the Japanese name for the macaque, which pretty much just means Japan monkey. If you ever visit a hot spring that looks extremely steamy, do not enter them. There could be a Heizaru lurking deep within its waters. Disturbing them is a mistake that could curse you to never enter another hot spring ever again. And that was a monkey Pokemon of every type. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.